911, do you need police, fire, EMS?
It is catastrophic.
Coming up to the second floor. I mean, it's so high up. Okay. And we have no exit out of it.
It is still some days very surreal and doesn't feel like it happened.
Up probably a good 25, 30 feet right now.
You get upset and angry, and
It's complete devastation.
it's just learning to keep my faith, just continue to live life the way that they would want us to. I mean,
Right now, a much different sight in Wimberley from what we saw exactly 1 year ago. 11 lives were lost, including the lives of an entire family, when the Blanco River rose to historic levels.
Tonight, we're remembering the Charba family. 2 children still have not been found.
KITV's Sarah Navoy spoke to one family member who is still grieving tonight.
What were the odds that 20-foot trees would bow in obedience? That 1 year later, water would still be high enough to trickle over asphalt. And what were the odds
the pylons that my dad had said would never go anywhere.
that Kristen Daniels' dad would be wrong? The pylons, or pillars,
These pylons go as far down as they go up.
knocked down.
4 of them were just completely laying on their side.
The home that rested on top carried down the Blanco River. Daniels' family carried with it.
It is still some days very surreal and doesn't feel like it happened.
Kristen lost both her parents, her father-in-law, her nephew, and her sister.
You get upset and angry.
A year later, acceptance is just now becoming possible.
The new norm is more manageable because we're kind of navigating the grief together.
Kristen says tangible reminders like her mom's jewelry help.
This was the watch and bracelet that she had on when they found her.
Other more abstract symbols help just the same.
My sister and her son Will are kind of red birds, and so anytime we see a cardinal, and 2 especially together, we think of them.
And despite holes in her heart that will never mend, not this year or next, Kristen says faith and family are pillars she's certain won't waver.
Just continue to live life the way that they would want us to.
Sarah Navoy, KITV News.
It's been a difficult year for them. Another Wimberley family is also remembering the loss of their loved ones this week. Carol Thomas lost her husband Larry in the floods 1 year ago. The waters rose to the roof of her home and she clung to a satellite dish, all while her husband was swept away. Searchers found his body 30 miles downriver in San Marcos. For the first time yesterday, Carol found the site where her husband's body was found.
It made me feel good to be able to picture where his body last was. I could picture it in my mind, so that was good. That was very good.
Thomas also battled cancer this year, but now she says she's looking forward to a peaceful future.
San Marcos floodwaters damaged 1,000 homes, but thousands of people immediately came to the rescue. Today, people are still hurting, but people are still helping. The Blanco River Regional Recovery Team was formed right after the floods, when leaders legalized and realized the healing process would take years.
It wasn't just homes that are gone now. People's livelihoods were also destroyed. The 7A resort suffered major damage. Nearly a dozen slabs are left where cabins used to be. The owners of the 7A resort are rebuilding as much and as fast as they can. The pool and pool house are already rebuilt, and 4 new cabins are underway. 2 will be rebuilt later this year, and the remaining 9 can't be rebuilt because of new flood zone lines.
It could not have been a more tense night in Wimberley and San Marcos. Here's a quick look at how quickly the Blanco rose that night. At 11:26, the National Weather Service announced a flash flood emergency effect in Hays County. A little bit more than an hour later, the Blanco River reached 39 feet. The old record was 33.3 feet. The National Weather Service described it as, quote, unprecedented and historic flooding. At 2:26 a.m., more of a sense of alarm here. The National Weather Service calls the flood disastrous and life-threatening.
This flood turned into a worst-case scenario for families living in Hays County with catastrophic damage and tragic loss of life. So how did it happen?
And could it happen again? Chief Meteorologist Chicago Windler is live in Wimberley tonight to explain. Chicago?
Walt, it was a combination of extremely heavy rain falling upstream along the Blanco River, plus rapid rises of that river as it came across that hilly, rocky terrain here in the hill country. Even folks who've lived in Wimberley all their lives say it was hard to believe. The normally calm Blanco River was anything but after storms dumped more than a foot of rain upstream in southern Blanco County. It had already been an abnormally wet May, and saturated soil meant rather than soak in, that rain ran directly into creeks, streams, and rivers. The Blanco River at Wimberley rose from near 5 feet around 9 p.m. to 41 feet by 1 a.m., cresting at 44.9 feet and shattering the 86-year-old record.
It's totally washed away.
It's complete devastation.
In the hour between 10:45 and 11:45 p.m., the river rose 5 feet every 15 minutes. The force of the floodwaters wrecking riverfront homes, even sweeping raised homes off their pilings.
It was just a huge crack noise. I don't know how else to describe it. And we thought, man, that had to be a house.
Record moisture surging in from the southwest met up with instability so high, tornadoes were touching down in Austin at the same time as torrential rains were training or moving over the same areas in Blanco County. That rain bomb ran off into the Blanco and Little Blanco rivers downstream, sending a flood wave toward Wimberley and later San Marcos. Then Memorial Day, more tornadoes touched down, and Austin bore the brunt of the flooding along Shoal Creek before the storm system finally moved out.
The damage from the flooding is absolutely incredible.
Raging river took all the furniture, everything, wiped it all. The deck was gone. The steps going upstairs got washed out. The whole thing. It was a raging river in our house.
So could this happen again? In Flash Flood Alley, rain bombs have happened before, and they will happen again, though the chances of having the exact same setup in the exact same place are very slim. According to the National Weather Service, water reached some homes lying in the 500-year floodplain, a probability of just 0.2% each year. New river gauges upstream from Wimberley will warn the tiny town of future floods.
This site will provide additional information in terms of rainfall in the upper portions of the Blanco Basin,
tracking rising water before it reaches Wimberley and giving more lead time, which could save lives the next time the Blanco River runs out of its banks. Earlier today, I spoke with Bob Joseph from the U.S. Geological Survey. He says they've installed 3 new river gauges upstream from here in Wimberley, and he believes those gauges could mean a difference of more than an hour of lead time to help folks here reach higher ground. I'll have your full forecast coming up later on, but for now, we're live in Wimberley. Hema, back to you.
Only on KITV, Texas Search and Rescue is still searching for the remains of Leighton McComb and William Charba. The Texar team of highly trained volunteers has been essential in saving lives and finding flood victims. KITV's Lindsay Lipman was at tonight's Texar monthly training meeting and joins us live with this exclusive. Lindsay?
Hey Matt, I'm live at a low water crossing here in Austin. You can still see part of Bull Creek flowing across this Austin roadway. Communities call out Texar when the water gets too high or someone goes missing. Last Memorial Day, just like they'll do this weekend, volunteers were headed out to Galveston to work the Memorial Day crowds out there when everything changed.
The call came through that, basically turn right around, go back to Austin, they need you there.
Derek Moreland is part of the Texar flood and swiftwater team.
As the floodwaters rose, you were just getting call after call after call. Somebody's on the top of a car or somebody needs rescue from their house.
Hours later, Texar made 37 boat rescues in Caldwell County. The focus also turned to Wimberley.
You don't realize the power of nature and water. When you see cypress trees that have evolved to live on water, completely stripped of bark, metal overpasses twisted into like a candy cane formation.
But he says the human spirit is stronger.
They just give their time, they give their talents, they give their heart.
Michelle Nations joined Texar after the Wimberley flood.
There's a lot that you saw right after the floods and even months later.
She helped look for the missing. Work Texar continues each month with canines looking for Leighton McComb and William Charba.
We want to take it all the way to the end and do everything we can to bring those children home.
The spring rain, just like this, may have moved around some of that debris, giving Texar a renewed chance at hopefully locating Leighton and William. But like they said, they will not give up. The families are so thankful for their effort. They even held their own fundraiser for Texar, which is a nonprofit, and it operates only on donations so that they never have to charge any of the communities they help. Reporting live in Austin tonight, Lindsay Littman, KITV News.
A flood we will never forget. Thanks, Lindsay. A new drug on the rise. Why experts believe the use of one particular painkiller is rising here in Central Texas.
Smartphone smudges. KITV put screen cleaners to the test. We found out whether or not more money actually means more effective.
And today we had plenty of clouds, a couple of sprinkles, but looking ahead in your Storm Tracker 7-day. 2 days with weather alerts, tracking when those severe storms could hit and how much rain you could get. Coming up.
Breaking news tonight, we have a live look outside the Albuquerque Convention Center in New Mexico. Just moments ago, protesters interrupted Donald Trump's rally there. We're told there were some confrontations with the police, but so far, no word of any arrests happening. You can see officers standing by on the scene right there. We're going to continue to keep an eye on this story and bring you any new developments as we learn more.
Developing tonight, 2 men under arrest for reportedly dealing a dangerous drug that killed 2 people. Austin police say fentanyl drug overdoses are on the rise in Austin. KITV's Melanie Torrey explains how young people are getting a hold of it and abusing it.
Fentanyl.
It destroys everything it touches.
Another drug abused in the ongoing opioid epidemic.
And it can lead to an immediate overdose and death.
Today, Austin police announced the arrests of 26-year-old Sylvester Orlowski and 28-year-old Albert Picasso, both facing federal charges for allegedly dealing fentanyl, a synthetic drug 30 to 50 times more potent than heroin. Police say Orlowski and Picasso sold the drug to 2 men who overdosed and died inside this South Austin home this month.
If you're selling drugs, we're gonna come get you.
Fentanyl is a powerful painkiller more potent than morphine. The drug has a variety of street names, including China White, Dance Fever, Tango, and Cash.
We're seeing people that are coming in using it as an alternative to heroin, thinking it's a little bit safer.
But it's not. Scott Lynch at Austin Recovery is seeing young people turn away from traditional street drugs.
So now they're turning more towards prescription medications.
Medications known to give the abuser a false sense of safety.
Because it was manufactured.
Austin police say the fentanyl Orlowski and Picasso are accused of dealing likely came from China. But Lynch sees plenty of abuse originating from prescriptions in Central Texas homes and says it will take the whole community to stop it. Melanie Torrey, KITV News.
Today, Texas Republican and Democratic voters determined their final nominees for key seats in the Texas legislature, the Texas Railroad Commission, and the State Board of Education. There were 22 races left inconclusive in the state primaries this March. We've posted a link to tonight's election results at KITV.com. We also have those results running at the bottom of your screen.
They're both Apple iPhone 4s. Don't judge me.
Well, we're not judging you, Uncle Fred, but we are judging the best way to keep smudges and fingerprints off his 2 phone screens, his cell phones there.
KITV's Betty Cross brings us the results of a test we started yesterday that could make your phone work better.
Usually I just use paper towel, which may not be the best thing.
Fred Cantu has tried just about everything
Windex
to clean the smudges off his smartphone. The KI reporter can laugh off how it looks. But how it works is a more serious matter.
When the phone rings and you can't answer it and you're swiping and you're swiping and you're swiping and it won't pick up, and it's because my glass here is all smeared.
So we put 2 possible solutions to the test: the rain repellent Rain X and Crystal Armor, an anti-fingerprint coating that's similar to what Apple puts on iPhones at the factory. We took the products.
I've seen the kit before.
To this cell phone repair shop. Ryan Oliveris dots one of Fred's phones with the Crystal Armor. The other phone gets wiped with Rain X after setting up overnight. Fred puts the Rain X phone to the fingerprint test.
I see a smudge. Do you see a smudge?
It's hard to miss. Next, the phone with the Crystal Armor.
Ooh, I like this.
Here's a side-by-side comparison with the Crystal Armor on the right.
Oh yeah, you can tell just looking at it that the one on the left's a lot more smudged than the one on the right.
It also costs more. Rain X is about $5. Crystal Armor, $35. It's a difference Fred doesn't like enough to actually pay for.
Now, how often can we do this story, Betty?
Betty Cross, KITV News.
Now, your Storm Tracker weather with Chief Storm Tracker meteorologist Chicago Windler.
Chicago is out in Wimberley tonight. You were out there earlier. A lot of progress, still a long way to go, but at least no rain tonight.
Yeah, it's been very fortunate out here that there hasn't been rain, and under skies of darkness I can actually see a few stars out here. You know, you may be able to see behind me a sign that says believe. Right behind it is the Blanco River and a sheared cypress tree. Numerous trees just like that lining the banks 1 year later, 1 year after the devastating tragedy happened here. Under a situation like this, in the middle of the night, in the middle of darkness. We are really fortunate that so far we haven't had a repeat. I do have 2 days though, Thursday and Friday, when we could be tracking some strong to severe thunderstorms. Let's start with here and now. Right now, Storm Tracker radar not showing anything. In fact, the sky's starting to clear out a little bit. The rain, we saw a few sprinkles earlier, that has cleared. Let's look ahead to tomorrow. There is the possibility of seeing a couple of strong, maybe severe thunderstorms. Marginal risk for the majority of us, basically from north and west of Bastrop to Lexington to Lockhart through the hill country. Fast forward to Thursday, though, the slight risk will be with us through the I-35 corridor points north and west, marginal risk to the south and east. To give you a better feel for what I'm anticipating, we may see high winds, hail, perhaps even an isolated tornado developing during the afternoon Thursday and Thursday evening, and even the possibility of seeing 1 or 2 storms develop late Wednesday night in the hill country trying to make a run at the I-35 corridor. Let's talk about that storm threat for Thursday. I've raised the flash flood threat now all the way up to moderate, keeping moderate for high winds as well as large hail and tornado threat at a low range. We will have 2 weather alerts, both Thursday as well as Friday. Outside right now, it's 80 degrees. We'll see a lot of cloud cover, even some patchy fog. So when you're waking up tomorrow morning to see Jordan Steele in the KITV Morning News, plan on some patchy fog and clouds to start off your Wednesday. Overall, though, looking like a pretty decent Wednesday for you. Oh, and hot, too. 76 in the morning, up to 90 degrees, mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Only a 20% chance of a shower during the day, but then late night, that could change. Taking you hour by hour, future tracks showing the possibility of some patchy areas of spotty drizzle. No big deal through the overnight. Then tomorrow, we'll see a mainly dry day. That is likely. However, a couple computer models are showing the possibility of some storms rolling in late night Wednesday into early Thursday. Now, future track really keying in on what could be significant heavy rain and storms right around 5 p.m. on Thursday. We will be under that slight risk of severe storms. So how much rain could we see? Newly updated information coming in from our future track computer model really blossoming this rain, especially during the late hours on Thursday. Look at this, 2.3 inches in Georgetown, 3.7 inches in Burnett. If we do get that much, that could prompt some flash flood concerns. Putting it all together for you in your Storm Tracker 7-day. I've got a temperature up to 90 degrees after the overnight low tonight of 75. That'll only be our 5th day in the 90s so far this year. 84, 70% chance of rain weather alert on Thursday, 86, another weather alert Friday. The rest of Memorial Day weekend, not looking too bad. KITV News will be right back.
If you have a tough time putting your little one to bed, a new study suggests you should let your baby cry themselves to sleep. Australian researchers found infants who were left to cry didn't suffer any emotional or behavioral problems. In fact, letting your baby cry, they say, can actually reduce the number of times they wake up throughout the night.
Oh, that can be hard.
Easier said than done, right?
Hard. Happening now, a lot of people are weighing in on the Alamo Draft House plans for gender-neutral restrooms. They posted this design on Facebook today. All you architects can redo it if you'd like. It's all they've got so far. These plans are for the new Miller location. Alamo says they've been working with an architect to create a design that meets city codes, is comfortable for all genders, and gets the job done.
Bob's here now with sports. Jerry Jones supports another NFL team moving.
It's all about the money. Where can the NFL make the most money? Sometimes where can Jerry make the most money? It's good business, man. Plus, Jordan Spieth will once again get the most tension this week, but he's got a fellow Longhorn on his heels, too. How Kramer Hickok approaches his good friend. Your Clickley Nissan Sports Report next.
Now, the Clay Cooley Nissan Sports Report.
We obviously in Las Vegas have been well documented that we'd have to consider the impact from a gambling standpoint. All of those things are an ownership decision, and until we have more information, it's just pure speculation at this point in time.
That said, Mr. Commissioner, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is in favor of putting a team in Las Vegas, and as we know, what Jerry wants, Jerry gets. Just ask Rams fans in St. Louis. The NFL awards 3 more Super Bowls today. Atlanta in its new stadium in 2019, Miami at its newly renovated stadium in 2020, and LA at the new stadium in 2021. Houston has a Super Bowl this coming season, and no team's ever even played in its own Super Bowl in its home stadium. For the Texans to become the first, they'll need a healthy Jadeveon Clowney to play a big role. Clowney does say he's 100% healthy now, and he feels better heading into 2016.
Of course, it's frustrating. You feel like you're letting the team down when you're not out there, and injuries happen. You just gotta be mentally tough to come back and show the guys you can ready to play. I'm very comfortable this year. I think I just got the defense down, and so now I'm just like figuring out what everybody else do around me.
The Astros trying to avoid a season-high 5 straight losses. Just a miserable start to the year, but it is early. Bottom 5, 1-0 Orioles. No longer 1-0 Orioles. Luis Valbuena robbed Deere with the 2-run home run, 2-1 Stros. Top 6, though, Manny Machado with a solo home run to tie it. They are tied at 2 right now in the 10th inning. By the way, the Rangers win tonight 4-1 over the Angels. Hey, have yourself a night, Drew Robinson. Express hosting Tacoma. Robinson at third with a nice play on the bad hop. Just a cannon of an arm. Robinson at third again. This time the charge. Watch this off-balance throw to first. He had a double and went 2 for 4 at the plate too, but the Express shut out tonight. 3-0. Jordan Spieth only finished higher at or above 16th in his hometown tournament at the Byron Nelson was 2010 when he was 16 years old. Spieth's success at the Crosstown Colonial, though, much better. In 3 trips, he's tied for 7th, tied for 14th, and last year, tied for 2nd. The PGA moves to Fort Worth now for the, now we call it the Dean and DeLuca Invitational. But here's guessing Kramer Hickok isn't hoping to move anytime soon. Jordan Spieth's Longhorn teammate and currently a roommate in his $7 million Dallas mansion will want to move only one place this week, and that's up the leaderboard. It's Hickok's 2nd PGA event.
Nothing but positive things to each other. We're still very, very competitive, but we're buddies at heart. Our relationship, I want to keep it as unbusinesslike as possible, so I don't like to pick his brain too much. Just by watching him, I learned so much. But we're definitely very supportive of each other, just because we care about each other.
All of the Longhorns tee off within minutes of each other Thursday. Spieth at 12:51, Johnny Vegas at 1:13, Hickok at 1:24. We're back after this.
We have breaking news right now. Another live look outside the Albuquerque Convention Center in New Mexico. Protesters are interrupting a Donald Trump rally. There were some confrontations with the police reported, but so far there's no word of any arrests. It looks much calmer there right now. Stay with the KITV Morning News starting at 4:30 a.m. for the very latest on what happened at this event, and we'll continue to follow this on KITV.com as well. We have 2 weather alert days coming up on Thursday and Friday. I just wonder if we're going to make cardio tennis tomorrow again.
I'm more worried about golf Thursday, Friday.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, cardio tennis is on for
so
sure.
have you guys made it a single time?
Yeah,
since
we'll
you
be there
started
at some
it?
point. We're on our way.
I've been hearing about cardio
Someday.
tennis for a little while.